Hey everybody, it's Austin with No Excuses Move. I'm just coming to you guys live today to go over quite a few things that just kind of help others and then start working on the teamwork. So if you are interested, reach out to me. All hands on deck. Many hands make light work. And let alone this whole point of No Excuses Move is for all of us to help and encourage each other and strengthen each other. It's 2024. We have multiple ways to make different forms of income, and I'm a person where I've branched out when I was a little bit younger and stuff that I would get into MLMs and all sorts of different things. I've gone through a lot of different occupations, and I could just find that they weren't the right fit. And I couldn't figure it out why things that were just so simple just weren't working out. And it's just because from what I've come to realize is that God didn't want me in those. He wanted me to learn things from it, but he wanted to take me out of those and give me my own thing that he's going to work with me and through me on. And which, from what I've been growing to understand and stuff, is that he's calling each one of us to do our works ourselves, and it's not just to go and work a 9 to 5 or build a website company that just starts producing more things that are not completely necessary for people. Then we could definitely live without it. It's just, oh hey, this is nice, somewhat. Anyways, is that I'm about to show you guys what I got written down today, because I've had some people reach out to me and just not even just like I was in those situations of, hey, I didn't know how to open up a YouTube account, let alone Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, others, all those different things. I won't go into the full details of those yet, but I'll just show you that there's multiple ways to be able to open those, and it's always good and resourceful to open those, because those things can create other passive income. Nowadays passive income is no longer a luxury, it's now a necessity, especially I keep saying especially, Billings, Montana, with the waterworks, that issue that's going on with that. I don't want to get into all that details. It's just things are getting outrageously priced, and so if you can learn to use these tools, and my number one thing is be authentically yourself, like do things from the fullness of your heart, not just your persona that you take on, that you try to say is yourself. I'm saying the goodness, the true of yourself, like that correlates to the base value of everybody, which is growing food, building, making hygiene or clothing or anything like that, all those base necessities, let alone speaking to others and speaking life into each other. So in any of those ways, and then plus more that are your gifts, that's what this is for, is that in any form of business, if you're one of the people that say, all these platforms and stuff like that's a waste of time and this and that and this and that. Well, just remember, every single business pays somebody to advertise for them so they can get more clients. So, and then if you're a person where it's like, all those things have algorithms and they have so much competition, you're more than likely not going to succeed. Well, if that's the mindset you want to stick with, well, then you can definitely, log away from this. I don't want to take your time. But for the people that are like, hey, it's an opportunity and I would rather listen and see if I can maybe work it out myself. Well, then what I'm doing is for those people that are working to try other things that they can perfect themselves. I'm not the example, and I like to be a person that helps someone. So I would rather not go to this success and then just focus on my own success when I could help others and we all come up together, like my brand. And that's what God has kind of been leading me to, is in all the least of these I am. And so each person that's in kind of the same position, and the best place to be is at the lowest, so then you remember where you came from and who you're around. And as people kind of get higher on different levels of what they think is success and stuff, they start to lose a little bit of themselves, because of one saying that I said, if you think you can control money, you haven't made enough yet. And that's with anything. That's authority, that's power, that's being able to get into any place, be able to do, there's a lot of different areas to see that in, and we won't go over that, but I'm just basically going to get straight into this. But if you're ready, let's get into it. If you haven't opened a Facebook, a YouTube, a TikTok, an Instagram, or any other platform, I do recommend doing that. I would recommend building a separate email for these so that they can all go to it and that you're not getting bombarded in your business one and your day-to-day life emails with all the excess stuff. So go and make another email account that you can use for your platforms that you'll be using. So this is going to be a lot. I wrote a little bit or quite a bit down. I'm not as organized, and I'm working on that as best as possible. So no excuses, move. That's not my brand. Those are just words. I'm working on it, and it's just to encourage everyone that no excuses, move in him, for him, and who is that? That's Jesus. So be the hands and feet for him. This ain't religion. I encourage everybody to go and meditate and read themselves so that God will show them through his word himself, through the Holy Spirit. But for me, what I've come to see is how a lot of influencers and people that just randomly become overnight millionaires, I don't want to give some of them credit, but let's just say, basically, if you type in the highest paid YouTube influencers or YouTubers, you'll come across someone called The Bee, and that person makes millions and is worth billions of dollars. So you could possibly be that, and he started out with just making content on YouTube. And so that's one area. That's one of my main ones. I mean, I post a lot of different things. This is mostly used. This is mixed with my thoughts and kind of get people to think differently a bit. And then YouTube is where I like to post the videos so that if people have time and they're like me searching things and they come across it and they just kind of want to learn. It kind of takes a little bit of patience and understanding as I perfect it. And all this is coming from the very beginning stages, so you're not afraid to go and do something and try it and develop in it. Because, of course, anytime you do any of this or do anything, you're not going to be perfect. Sometimes there's some that just have, gathered information as they're a kid, so they're able to they understand these a lot better. Great for them. And if I could get someone like that on my team, that'd be perfect. But this isn't about my team or you joining me. This is excitement for you, what you're doing, and I want to include you on what I'm going to be doing when I build a website. And so I want to encourage and help you out too through the website too. But there's specific people and content that I'm looking for in that, and that's people. I erased the word, but it's people who are building things purely. They're not just doing what the world's doing, where there's people like, I don't want to give them credit. So let's just say that as you've been scrolling, you've seen some influencers that have said some certain words and now they're multimillionaires because everyone blew it up. That's the stuff that I'm not encouraging, because it kind of just leads people down a bad trail. And no matter what, even if people are taking it and blowing it up and now they're using them all over and they're doing things and they're successful money-wise, that's not what I like to encourage, because I like people to see wholehearted things and things that are pure instead of just anything that'll make a buck. And so, here's how I'll set out on the camera. Let's see here. Sorry, taking so long. See, I'm trying to zoom in. Oh, too far. So, your Facebook, I don't know, whichever platform you use, a lot of people use Instagram. A lot of these I don't know that well, and I'm in the beginning stage, and that's the reason why I should give you encouragement, to where if you know more than I do and you know how to make these things work better, that is great. And that's what I encourage, is people succeeding, and making good things. So my main thing is I use Facebook, and like I said, I post a lot of different content on there. What helps me, and with anybody, and this is for yourself, everyone knows it, is when you follow and subscribe to any one of these. To my platforms, they're free to subscribe and follow, because that's the easiest way somebody can help you. And just like in a business, somebody's sharing your business post because you clearly like to go to that place. That's the same concept, is that you're helping, you're somebody that you appreciate something about them, and you want to help them out because you support that business too. So that's kind of like the same, where I have multiple different things, and I like to make my content to where it's not stuck to a group, or it's not stuck to a politics. It's not stuck to civil rights. It's not stuck to anything. It's just open for everybody to be able to come to and basically kind of humble themselves to see a bigger picture where it's accessible for children, of course, women and men, and I mean, those are the three. Yeah, that's what we all are. So those three, I like it accessible to every single one of them. Like YouTube, it says, "Oh, is your content made for kids?" Because the comments that people put out on things, and you can't control the world, I just say no, it's not, because I can't control what other people say or do on those. So I don't want to get shut down because someone got on there and cussed out something. And that's the reason why, I always encourage for people to educate their kids that it's like, this just, it's profanity. Don't pay no mind to it. It's people that don't have the self-control to hold those kind of words. So a lot of the content, like on this one and things like that, say it's not for kids. But I encourage parents, especially with any form of thing that I even make, to sit down with their kids. And if you can understand it, I kind of get all over the place. So helping other people to see a bigger picture than just a direct view. It's not, I'm working to perfect it. It's at the beginning stages. And so the more I get help with finding people that are great with making good content, not just going out and recording, helping people, or, those influencers that are all over the place for doing blatantly obvious, not honest things. I don't want that. I want content that's family oriented, building strong communities, and for suicide prevention. And so those videos, of course, I would like to work on quality content that, the picture's real nice, the editing is perfect, the voices and stuff are good. I'd prefer to get as raw and natural as possible. That's the reason why I'm on the live right now, is because I like raw and authentic. I like someone showing who they really are and their mess ups, because everyone messes up. And a lot of thing is when you see those influencers, they've cut things, they've practiced, they've rehearsed, and they've staged a lot of things. So that's not how a huge portion of the world is. So I want to be the person that helps encourage, hey, listen, we're not perfect. The number one thing is no excuses. Move. Just move in it. Go with your fullness of your heart, of the goodness, and continue doing things. Because a lot of people are afraid to just start something because they don't know how to finish it. It's like, listen, if you get in there and every time you put in your full heart, it'll eventually be built. And I've had this brand, No Excuses Move, for years now. And and as I've grown, I've shown more and more how God's been telling me, it's like, listen, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. And that's what I've called you to do, is do it yourself, and through me. You don't need friends around you. You don't need family around you. You don't need business owners. You don't need all these people. You just got to start doing it. But of course, if you're a person that sees this and you want to be a part, I always encourage it, because many hands make light work. But with that, of course, we're going to have two different mindsets on the fullness. And so I'll take the knowledge that you give me and what I accept, of course, and I hope I give something that helps you inspire you. And from a lot of different people that I've come in contact with, people are very confused about what the heck I'm doing, and they're always asking, well, what's in it for you? And that's a simple thing, is it's like, well, if something comes out of it, it's even not for me. Even if I get financial, it's not for me. I'm taking all that stuff and I'm putting it back into investments, into lands, into houses, so that other people can use those, so that they can get up on their feet. And I'm working on my patience. I'm not a perfectly patient person, but there's huge problems in communities with homelessness and just people like, oh, you just got to do it yourself. You just got to do it yourself. Well, of course. But if you're ahead of me and you have knowledge to help me skip some steps instead of having to fail all the way, it's very helpful. And that's what I'm kind of starting to do this for, is because I keep getting rejected because people like, oh, you just need to go, you just haven't figured it out, all these things. And it's like, no, I know what I'm doing. It's just clearly you're not doing the exact thing that I'm trying to do. You're just kind of doing whatever's given to you that sometimes isn't even helpful to the community. It's kind of just a way to make money. And so, yeah, I don't appreciate that mindset of what I'm doing, because I'm trying to help others that are doing things purely, growing a garden, making 100% pure hygiene products. So you're not going to the store and you're buying crap products from the store that are just chemicals and then you're putting it all over your body. It's messing with people's hormones and cycles and all sorts of different things. So I'm looking to find people that can simply teach people about how to make soap, shampoo, toothpaste, whatever that's hygiene, all right, underarm deodorant, things that are clearly perfect, where it's very presentable and it's very clean. Like as clean as possible. Probably there's guaranteed a way to find a way that there's no harmfulness to you. And so that people can learn, like, from simple ingredients, how to make it themselves, so their family can save money for not going to the store or anywhere to buy all these harsh products when they could probably just grow it themselves. And as you can see, I'm not like a hippie, so I like certain presentations of myself, so it's not just like a cult type thing. It's you guys, however you prefer to do your things yourself. It's just I want to be able to offer the basics so that people can perfect it themselves or choose what they want to do with it themselves. But the people that have perfected these areas, this, and I guess like there's a beehive that doesn't disturb the bees and you can extract the honey, so things like that. And as I get those, I'm going to put everyone that's doing, others who are perfect at what they do, which is gardening, building, taking care of animals, taking care of people, all those people. And I'm going to offer them, I'm going to look to their content and see if there's like groups they're oriented to or anything like that. And anyone that's focused on just a group, I'm not going to go with. I'm only going to focus on people that can help the mass majority of men, women, and children, because that's what we are and that's what it helps. It's like if you're trying to pick a political side, we're all in the United States, so it's to help. The goal is that whoever's in charge is to help the whole United States. And then clearly they're to govern other countries' affairs within us and all that stuff, whatever. So I'm trying to have people they don't look to people as different or not enough or whatever. I want people to help each other from any point and stance. But clearly you can't help nobody that doesn't want to help themselves. So the point of this is that people are no excuses moving, whether someone sees it or not. A lot of people think that I'm not doing anything and I'm just talking. And it's like, well, sometimes those talkings help. Just like I've been called to be like, hey, I don't even know how to do any of this. And that's where I was a few months ago too. And so it's like, okay, don't worry, I get it. And I want to help you as much as I can. So that's what this video is for, this is the very basics and the things that I've understood of how people have been overnight millionaires on these platforms. And let alone, that's what every single business in this world does, is they put out advertisement and then they either build a client or they get funds. So that's just how we are as people. So No Excuses Move is within your individual self. It's not its own entity. I'm not doing an LLC. I'm not doing a nonprofit. I'm not building a church. This is all through me. And as I help people, however I can help people, or somebody can take something from this, I don't demand anything, because this is accessible to anybody. It's just people don't have others that are encouraging them to at least just go and start and find out, grow as you go. So, these two are QR codes. They're separate because those are individual people that just know or have something on their heart that they feel they want to give. I have a couple QR codes for Venmo and PayPal, so if someone wants to help with what's being produced, I very much appreciate that. Each one of these Facebook, YouTube, X, Threads, TikTok are my main ones. Oh, I forgot to put Instagram. I'm going to work on getting every platform so that you know, as they start to generate money, like this one's got like $5. Facebook's got $5 because you guys have been watching some of my videos, whether some of you watch the whole thing, which I very much appreciate, and then if you interact and if you react and you comment, those things help. But for all the people that have, whether they realize they were helping or not, you have. And so that's up to $5. You know, slowly but surely, I'm excited about that. $5 is better than no bucks. I don't pull it out yet because, of course, I want to be able to, when I pull it out, I'll get taxed. So I want to be able to pull it out at a large sum so that I'm able to do a lot more. YouTube, I don't think I've gained anything. Oh yeah, because I haven't had 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. I can't remember the platform for these, but I would just recommend that each one of them, you have to have 1,000 followers, subscribers, either one that the button says, and then so many watch hours, then you can start to generate income. And so if, let's see here, I'll write down well, No Excuses Move is for YouTube. So I'll just put N. No Excuses. Oh. No Excuses Move is on YouTube. Facebook is my name, Austin Allery. I'll just put AA. Austin Allery. Threads is Austin Allery. Or X is Austin Allery. Threads is Austin Allery. And TikTok is Austin Allery. Because these is when I started to do it and I didn't know what the heck to do, let alone Facebook is, I've had that forever. But so far the direct link to, you know, that I'm trying to produce so people get used to seeing No Excuses Move, trying to figure out what the heck it is, what I'm talking about. I'm hoping that these are slowly planting good seeds in people so that they can see it and understand it a little bit, that it's just telling you to do things in life, not wait on another or set yourself back with all the negative outcomes that everyone tries to put on you, like, oh, well, you got to do this, or you got to make up this much money before you do anything, or you got to do this. Like, when everyone says that, just basically brush it off your shoulder, because it's just useless information that they're just saying they don't realize what they're doing, but they're just kind of trying to get you down a little bit, you know what I mean? They don't know what they're doing, but a lot of people just don't get what you're doing when anytime you do anything. Just like with the internet, a lot of people didn't know what was happening and they thought it was going to be the end of the world. Of course, it can be the end of the world the way people use it, but for the most part, we can use it just like we're doing now to be able to connect with people and teach people and work together on things. So if you take these tools, use them for their great purpose, not for destruction. Which, you know, being able to create passive income. So eventually, once all these start creating passive income, it's gonna be helpful and great. I know that just like when you donate to a church or a nonprofit, that you get a tax refund, which, I mean, of course that's good. But as what God's showing me is that when you give to somebody, you don't expect back anything. You don't expect back a benefit. You don't expect back anything. When you give from the fullness of your heart. And so if you follow any of these, I don't want you to follow it for me. I want you to follow it because, well, I mean, it's not what I want. It's, I hope when you follow it, you find something that you can use out of it. Whether it is for your personal business or it's your personal life or to help inspire others and stuff, whatever it is, that's what I hope for. That you use all the information that's going to come freely to you to use it. And so with them, there's people out in the world that understand what I'm doing. And so if they do and they feel led to give, I will accept it. Of course, clearly. Any form of gift is great, and I will put it to work. That's what I've come to learn over my life and through my survival parts in my life, is that people overlook a lot of simple things, and then our landfills get filled with a bunch of things that a lot of people can recycle and reuse and build with. So the goal is to help the communities in basically recycling and making things work with what you have. But of course, everybody does, like clean things. So that's the reason why helping with getting clean things is great. So I accept any form of Venmo or PayPal. I have that on my Facebook page. If you have any questions about that, let me know. That whatever's given is gonna be good, and I don't want to say what it's for, because you will just see what happens with this. Because if I tell you everything that's gonna happen, you'll put an image in your head and you'll think it's gonna be a certain way, and that's not how life is. Nothing's set in stone exactly how you look at it. Seems like it, but it's not. But just know that every single thing, every single donation, every single dollar that goes towards this is going to be used greatly and to help people and build strong communities and create more events. I had one event for suicide prevention and building strong communities where I hired Rebels and Razors downtown to cut hair free for anybody and everybody. And I had a few speakers there that spoke very inspirational stories. That's on my YouTube channel, so that you can hear some stories of people that came up from nothing and they started doing. Whether they give the credit to God right now or not, that is their choice. But I appreciated them for doing certain things when nobody else believed them, and that's the start of No Excuses. Now the suicide prevention and the moving is move in Him. Let Him take the credit. Let Him get the glory instead of yourself. And so those events, I want to produce a lot more events where people get to take home something. Just like with the haircut, people got to take home something. Those haircuts are not cheap, let me tell you. And so people got an effect. They didn't just come to an event and leave with somebody just talking their ear off and telling them how to live life or something. No. They didn't. They told their story, and if anyone took something from it, that's great, but they got to leave with an effect. And that's what each one of my things I like people to do, is leave with an effect. And so as money, comes in through the freeness of you guys watching, and if you start your own channel and stuff and you start to develop money, these things will help you produce in your life. And so that's what this is for, is to help you, while I'm also showing what I'm doing and how I'm going to use it. So I hope it encourages you to start writing down these platforms and kind of keeping track of how your business is always yourself. You don't have to get an LLC. You don't have to get a nonprofit. You don't have to build a church in order to do things. You pay your own taxes. And so that's the point of this, is that everything that's written to you, like, oh, this is for Austin Allery, I pay my taxes on it. So that's the point, is that I don't need to go get an LLC. LLCs and stuff are only protection from you getting robbed. But if you start working on perfecting your things and making it so that it's wholehearted and it's on your word, and start developing that trust again back in the community, where if you say something, you're going to live by it and you're going to do it, that's the goal in this. So it's to help you work on perfecting yourself so that you're not just spitting out anything that you want, because it's not good to just spew your words. It says, be quick to listen, slow to speak. And so that's the goal in this, is to sharpen each other so that we make the best content. I haven't really gotten to Instagram yet. This is somebody that I'm going to need to help me with videos and content, interaction, and things like that. So when I do the Instagram, that's what I'm looking for, is people that can edit real good, or we can get into a group where they're editing and I can show or find details that they're doing to edit and stuff. That's what that's for. All these will be perfected as we all work together, and if there's a group that comes in and meets here at the library or something with me in Billings, or wherever we can meet in town, I'm open to, let's get it going. Let's get working together so that we, many hands make light work. If you want to go alone, the way that I'm shown is the way I'm doing it. It's a lot different than how everyone else is doing it, because everyone else will take any form of thing to make money, because it's like, oh, okay, well, if I make money, I can do whatever I want with them. It's like, well, every single thing that you've done on the way, and the people you stepped on to get there, is very destructive. And you're like, well, I could just ask for forgiveness later. It's like, well, you might die before then. So instead of stepping on everybody and creating a bunch of bad out in the world, slowly but surely is what I found is the key. But if you want to go far, you go together. And so this is what this is about, is that all of us coming together and helping each other and building strong communities. And so looking for people that will help me with production, and clearly a great CPA that will be able to help me with taxes, investments, to buy land and housing. The land is going to be used for like cultivating, creating pure organic, like fruits and vegetables and stuff that anyone can come and use, and I won't go too deep into that because I want you to see it instead of worrying about, oh, well, you haven't done this yet, It's like, yeah, that comes in time when money comes in and people start to understand what's actually happening. And then the housing is that, like I said, it's going to help others get off the streets that are not just wanting to quickly get off the streets, people who are, I don't know, shown their gifts, basically. Like, I see that they're not just wanting to be outside, that they're actually wanting to do these. They wanting to build hygiene. They're wanting to, they have something perfect in them that they know how to do and create and make something of that helps the communities that will be put in the houses. And then as it grows and there's more houses and things that I can manage, and then let alone if somebody else comes along, that they can manage to be able to help others pay for this themselves through all their works, so that they pay for their housing, and then they can start stacking up for themselves, teaching them how to use these platforms to make passive income, and then basically starting their own businesses. It's not really a business, it's just you living and perfecting what you're doing, and then using what you've made, created. And then if somebody offers you something, basically like whatever's on your heart to give. People are demanding tips at these restaurants and all these places. I've worked in the food industry. I've never really been to one to really find that honorable at all, where you're basically demanding somebody to give you extra money. A gratitude, a tip is something that someone offers freely because they know it's a blessing to somebody else and that they were filled to give it. Not, hey, well, you owe me 25%, you owe me 15%. It's like, well, I don't owe you that. That's what you want. And since you're going to demand it to me, and I would rather bless my enemy, basically, because somebody demanding something from you is not right. But if it's in your heart to give them because they seem like they need it more than you do, well, then that's your personal self. That's your own ordeal. But none of this is being demanded. I'm just letting you guys know the things that help me, and then eventually will help others. And then once I build this website, where it is, right here. When I build that website, it'll help each person who has perfected something, to where the website's going to have the truth, basically one of everything that helps you. Whether it's working on a car, whether it's welding, teaching you how to perfectly weld, whether it's teaching you how to open up these platforms and do it perfectly. That's what the website's going to consist of the perfect way to do each one of these in the quickest and fastest way. Not telling you a whole lifelong story of, oh, well, this is how I found out Facebook through a friend. No, I want people to get straight to the content. I hate getting on YouTube, and when I go to search for something, someone's telling me their whole life story, and then finally I have to skip around to finally find what I'm actually there to look for. So I want to shorten up videos so that in the website, so that people get their direct thing that they're looking for. And then when I get the website, I'm going to have people having all their platforms underneath linked to it, so that if the person really likes how they describe something or how they do things or whatever, they can click on each one of theirs and they can follow and support those people that are doing whatever they're doing perfectly, so that it helps them, and from you just watching, it helps every single person. And because these platforms pay you to do it. And it's slowly but surely, but just like in a business, if you don't perfect your craft, you're not going to get out really anything. You got to go against all the algorithms based in each one of these, let alone all your friends and families and strangers that are judging you and thinking that you're not doing anything worthwhile because they haven't given the chance to actually hear what you're saying, which you don't need to explain yourself. People will come to follow or whatever long after, probably once you become successful, then they'll be like, oh yeah, I supported them the whole time. It's like, okay, but either way, work on not holding that against them. But you don't owe them anything, so just remember that. You don't owe anybody anything. And so the goal, as I've just kind of rambled on, is that this is for you, and this is a basis that I've kind of written on my plan for what I'm doing through No Excuses Move to help others. So for yours, it's just Facebook. Yours is YouTube. Yours is TikTok. Yours is Instagram. Yours is whatever other platform. These are the funnels to where it'll end up creating some passive income for you. I recommend, like I said, building a website or an email, a separate email. If people want to get you into them MLMs and tell you to sell a different product for them, basically, you can build your own website and say the content and the things that'll help others out from your fullness of your heart. So this is all about you. Instead of you selling a product or something garbage, this is something from your fullness of your heart that you're building and you're helping others out with. That's what the whole point of this is for you. So email, separate email, free, that you can get all the platforms. All the platforms under, so that all that information that they'll send you notifications, messages, somebody notified you, something you were following, whatever, you can, go through and edit how you want it to be. So those will be in later videos that will go over Facebook, how to best use it. There's plenty of already YouTubes and stuff already put out there, but trying to find it and go with what works best with you. I want to be able to perfect it so that it's all one clear area to where you can go through Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever other platform, and go straight down the row, and shows you how to open every single one of those, the separate email that you put, so that all of it goes to one source. So it helps you organize things. And if you know how to do your taxes, that means you don't have to get a CPA, so that's perfect. But everyone needs sharpening on taxes, because did you know that gifts, you can get $18K, and look into it a bit so then you can perfect it and know the knowledge, but you can get given in gifts of $18K a year, untaxed. So look into that, because that's definitely a learning curve to be able to help, produce whatever you need. So I believe it's each person can get 18K. So if your child can be given 18K, there's a lot of different things that you can use your business to be able to, basically in a formal way, hire your kid. I don't know how that is, but look into it. Just things to be able to help you produce more. If you're still in kind of the worldly thoughts and how it functions and stuff, slowly but surely, if you learn to produce financial gain for your child as you have your own business. So there's a lot of different ways to use the tools that are nonprofits and, well, not nonprofits, but an LLC, sole proprietor, whatever. I think it's an LLC. But that you can take your business as leverage to be able to pay for your kids. And, yeah. But I was just saying, giving gifts $18K a year, so you can have that untaxed. Look into the finer details of that. But the people that are CPAs that I'm looking for know how to pay just the amount of taxes that you need to. Not what they want, because they'll take as much as they want. But taxes to be able to pay the government, give to Caesar what is Caesar's, and then every single extra dollar puts into something that grows. Just like when in the Bible it says, why didn't you at least put my investment into the bank? At least I would have gained some interest. So even putting certain things in like a savings account, only take out when you need to pay a bill. Not worry about like, oh, well, I need to have this much by the end of the month. Only worry about it when it's need to be worried about. Today has its own problems. Tomorrow has its own. Today has its own worries. Don't worry about tomorrow because it has its own worries too. And so everything, especially large amounts, will go in towards investments. And I'm working on perfecting investments and people that have had wide range of varieties. All the investments I'll be investing in is going to be secure investments, and let alone land and housing. I've done some construction, so I know certain faulty things about a house to where if I'm looking at it and there's problems with it, I'm not gonna be interested in it. But mainly the housing that I'm gonna be working with at the beginning, probably buying a couple houses that are on the market that are maybe a rent own or I don't know, or a lease property. Sometimes my words get me. But at the beginning, just so that it's starting to get in place, and then later on I'd like to buy houses basically on land, or well, not even buy houses, I'll build houses out on land and build some form of a community for people that are perfect at growing gardens and taking care of animals and things like that, where it's like, if you want to use the house, the goal is to have 6-month housing so that people get up on their feet and then they choose to go and do whatever they want, wherever they want. It's mainly to get people up on their feet. And then there's going to be some houses that will basically probably, I don't know, I'll see how it all works. I'm not there yet, so I won't overthink it and over worry about it. But that's how it's going to go. I want to make sure that everything's done right. There's no form of falseness or anything like that. The taxes, every single form of income comes in is going through the CPA that they're managing my taxes. So if you're doing all this stuff, if you can manage your own taxes and stuff, that's perfect. If you don't, find a person that is perfect at what they're doing, that they don't mess up, so that your taxes, and when you start moving it towards investments, it's properly done, that is in the best interest of you. I've heard that on land, if you bury a family member, clearly probably not something within the city limits, but if there's land like outside of the city limits, you could, I've researched a little bit about it, but if someone, very close family member passes away and they wanted to bury you, if you place them on your land, and I don't know how the full process is, but I heard that the land can be tax-free, and then it's basically put into a trust for your family. So that's something to look into too, for your children, and then let alone your loved ones around you, so that you can buy land and have tax-free land and be able to pass it down through trust. That doesn't mean that there's going to be clearly some things that you'll have to pay, but for the most part, that's a great benefit. So as being your own self and not being a business, finding things like that you can use to benefit to get a break from Caesar is great, and be able to use the most of those is great. So, and then protection from hacking. So tech people that are great with tech, protection from hacking. I just like the little package thieves that are going around stealing your package. Find people that can build little boxes so that people quit stealing your package. It blows up right on them, catches them recording, whatever. And then you can use those videos and put them on your YouTube and TikTok about, hey, I caught somebody doing this. And, it isn't a form of embarrassment, but it's content that'll bring some capital towards your way, because nobody likes a thief, clearly. But protection from hacking, spam callers. I've heard that if somebody's calling you and you tell them to take you off the list and they continue to call you, you can end up suing them. So people that know how to make sure that you know exactly who you're protecting yourself from hacking. So if they're going to continuously call you and harass you, you can turn them in for harassing, possibly sue them. because everyone's tired of getting those prank or the spam calls. And so I think it's even with emails, it's with anything. If someone's harassing you, you can end up suing them. So people that agree with that, that's something that I'm looking for, so that people can help the community by stopping all these thieves from stealing your time, attention, and harassing you constantly with things that are not good. And then tech, or people that can, build the website the way that it's hard to explain just looking at it like this. But once it's done, you'll be able to see it clearly, and then from all sorts of spam. That's what I was talking about, from the protection from the spamming. But production, there's a lot of information here. And so people that have perfected it or are currently working to perfect it, and they're wanting a group of people that understand that, hey, if you're going to work through these, I want to, have us all sit down and we'll kind of work together, because many hands make light work. And so me as a very outgoing, all over the place kind of person, that helps certain people. I've been complimented on, hey man, I appreciate how you are, because you've helped me see to move, and have that energy and that passion. And so I appreciate that. And so even though a lot of this doesn't make sense, there's certain people that appreciate it. And so I appreciate you seeing the value in what I am doing in myself, and what I am trying to work to do to the community, or what I'm working on to do in the communities to help each other. So if there's any questions on any of this, or you want to get involved, or if it's on your heart to give, let me know. I of course encourage you to like, share, follow, as they always say, but all of them are free to subscribe to. And each one of them that will eventually help to create passive income, to help fund, things that'll help each other. It's not about fattening my pockets. I only need what I need: food, water, and transporting vehicle. And once I get my clothing brand out, then to buy clothing and be able to help out the community that way. But I don't need a lot of things. I don't need a bunch of fancy things. I don't need nothing. I'm good. So my goal is to every dollar that I get go towards helping people in the community, help people build these things better for themselves, so that each other is able to produce their own fruits, So what I'm working to do is help others. I don't need a lot. I just want to help others, because there's people that don't have land, there's people that don't have housing, there's people that don't have tools. And so I got to give a shout out again to CoLab here in Billings, Montana, let alone the library, for this room. This is a free room because our tax dollars went towards it. So it's something great. And to come in, if these things are empty, then that means it's a wasted tool. And so I don't waste anything that's given, especially if it's given freely, to where I want to invest this room instead of just sitting in here and doing nothing. I want to invest this room to teach others and to be a part of, creating content for each one of these, so they eventually gain extra money. So using something free to gain more revenue, and then taking that revenue to buy assets and to pay Caesar, so that I may do more and help others do more themselves. So I'm going to read some of the comments if there's any. I hope this helps. Contract for deed, yeah. Some of those, yeah, for the housing, yeah. Sorry, I hope stuff encourages you. If you have any questions or anything like that, again, it might sound all over the place. It's slowly but surely, and doing anything from the beginning doesn't make sense to anybody. But once all this really starts to play an effect, I do these live, I do these raw, because I want to show people, just start. You will get there. Don't be afraid to just start. And when you start, put your whole heart into it, because that's what's missing out of the world, is a lot of authenticity and trust. I trust myself in everything that I'm going to be doing through this. I trust myself. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I don't need any confirmation from anybody. To perfect these, I humble myself to hear people out and to watch certain content to be able to see what I I present and then how I've seen the reactions and how they've kind of blown up. And so a lot of it isn't the content that I would choose, but there are certain things that I'm working on still perfecting, because I'm not going to be just a person that goes out and records people doing like live interviews or something like that. Like, I'd like to kind of set that more in a podcasting area. Plus, there's not a lot of people, or I haven't come up with the content yet to be able to go on truly talk to anybody about a specific topic, unless it's politics or something goofy. And there's plenty of content on each one of these for that, and I would rather do something that's actually benefiting the community, other than posting that kind of stuff. Yeah, I was gonna say, so we got Colab here. They have multiple different tools and equipment for anybody to come learn, especially kids, to come learn, and parents to show their kids how to make more things instead of just having a bunch of toys. They can go basically build their toys from a 3D printer, or use the sound booth to be able to record songs, voiceovers for, if you want to use some of your voiceovers that you created at Colab and put it on a reel for me for Facebook, TikTok, or Instagram, that'd be awesome. There's certain things that I'll use. I'm a very picky person in how I'm trying to produce things. A lot of my content probably doesn't make any sense to people, but that's just me kind of dabbling and trying things out. As it starts to get a fine core of more better content, like where the video and stuff is, that's when you'll start seeing it probably more on Instagram. So these other ones are the kind of the beginning basis. Facebook, of course, is because that's my personal Facebook. And so I post things that'll help encourage you to renew your mind in more ideas. And then some other just personal things, like when my honey made me some muffins yesterday, posting things like that. So it's posting that was about like, showing the appreciation for your loved ones and close ones around you, especially when they do something so simple. And that's what I use that for. And that's still part of No Excuses move, to encourage others to enjoy the little things in life. YouTube is kind of like this video I'll probably end up putting on there. It's going to be a long one, but someone's going to pull something out of there. And just like me, before I even started doing all this, I was looking at different social media influencers, and some people had messaged, some people got back to me, a lot of people didn't, because they have probably thousands of messages per day. And probably a lot of it spamming or wanting to do something that has nothing to them. I want to do what I can to help others, even when they're way above me. It's like, I don't need nothing from you. I just want to be able to help get certain points that you're doing to another audience, to be able to help them, because what you're doing is clearly helpful for others. And so there's a lot of ways that the world kind of does things where they just end up being scandalous and stealing and this and that and this and that. And it's a lot difficult to do things when you're trying to do your best. Is that others have seen others scandal, and so they think that you're just trying to scam. And it's like, and then they get all confused by, oh, well, what's in it for you? It's like, listen, man, there's really nothing in for me. I was going to say, whatever I'm getting, I'm going to do more with. So it's like nothing's really coming back to me. And then I'm not taking any of it when I die, so none of it's for me anyways. And so I hope that kind of is instilled in you, where you understand you're not promised tomorrow. So your goal is to help each other, because none of us are staying here. And the more that we help each other, we'll be able to look after each other's, families. Like, I don't have a tight-knit family. So the people that come into my life, I want to do whatever I can to help each other. Even if they don't understand it at first. Just like the Colab. I have nothing to do with the Colab, but I understand the benefit of how it can help a lot of people. So going out and letting people know about the Colab, and that you can take your family in there. You can do a family night probably. Well, family time, I guess, because I don't know their hours exactly. and they have other classes. But you can rent some of that stuff out for 2 weeks, so you can have a family night where you guys are building different things, using 3D pens, building 3D printer, sewing some stuff together, having a video game night, having a projector movie night or a presentation night, or teaching your kids how to present themselves and this and that, whatever. There's so many options that you can use that I'm excited about and I can see. And because I don't have kids and I don't have little ones around me, I want to be able to help those with families that do have those. And instead of them just playing on YouTube or something like that, you can teach them how to make something of it. And then, I mean, you guys can get into the content of how they can record themselves basically doing it and then encourage others. That's a different content or topic, and that one goes to long extremities of how to properly do it so that it's not at risk for the bad side of the world that uses things. But so me not having anything to do with the collab of any of its inspiration or anything like that and how it came to form, except for somewhere down the line of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of any form of tax dollar that went to it, that's about it, just like you. But a lot of people don't know about it, so letting No Excuses Move for me is letting others know that that's available. And then these rooms, this office with this marker board is free and available for you to use. These are the simple things that I can do to be able to help encourage the community to work together on things and to come together. This table has 4 chairs, so you have the opportunity to get 3 people in here and work on something. And that's what I want to do, is create groups that are focusing on these different attributes and learning about money and how to use it and learning to protect yourself from spam and getting, these things hacked and then getting all your money and all things taken away or anything like that. And then what kind of content you want to use, how the video is going to turn out with the editing, the interaction of how being your authentic self and not just putting like automated stuff is the best. Clearly, anything authentic is the best. And then looking for others who have perfected whatever you're doing and learn from each other and help each other. And so as you basically give a shout out or you give them a form, maybe on a podcast. You create a podcast after these videos. You create a podcast where you can sit down and you guys can talk about how you guys are on the same level and you guys are working on things and how you guys can come together and how you guys can show others where it's like you're not competition, you're in the same boat and you're all dealing with the same thing. Yet they maybe started out first and you're after, and you're like, hey, yeah, a lot of the tools that they use, I'm not giving all my credit and all my glory to them because they just inspired me and I appreciate them and I appreciate them continuing. No matter how hard the community or the society is, they're still doing things with the fullness of their heart instead of copping out and getting bought out by something. So anything that you can do to put your full heart in there, and more people are putting their full authentic self in their word and they're holding on to their word, the better No Excuses Move will be inside people, where Jesus will be inside people and doing things from the fullness of their heart. But, of course, when you mention Jesus, is that you have to get in his word to understand who he is, because the Spirit will show you who he is, and he will sharpen you so that in all these things you're not conformed to conformed to the world, but you're being conformed outside of the world, to where you're not looking at these the way that the world does. You're looking at all the benefits of how you can be used to show people to Jesus, and you can be the patience, the agape love for people in anything of this, instead of always worrying about how you're going to fatten your pockets or how you're going to get more things. It's like, how can you use each one of these to help others and make more in this world instead of just putting it in your own pocket and buying all your luxuries and gluttonous things of whatever it is, where you're able to make more and be able to give more, so that people are able to do things like this, where they're able to bring together people, where somebody who's perfected on knowing these platforms will have time to be able to help each other because they understand that, hey, this person actually is going to listen. They want to use the tools and the knowledge I have. And it's like, yeah. And then it's like they can help me by, adding me to a part of the website, or, bringing me in a podcast to where other, we share the same vision, and then it creates more people that go to these. It's not about following somebody. It's about when you subscribe, it's like throwing a penny at somebody in a formal way. If you subscribe, when you subscribe to these, it's like donating. It's a part of your time, and your time is valuable. So when you hit like or subscribe or follow, those little things are kind of like a little investment of your time. And so that's the investment. And then it ends up getting, eventually after the 1,000 subscribers or whatever, starts to turn into capital. And then that capital and that time that was given through you ends up turning into assets that people can use. And then it rebuttals back into the communities to where, like me, I understand that I don't do that. The people that subscribe and interact, the people that help out, are the ones that produce this. So that's once I get this, land and housing, I know it didn't come from anything I did. It came from each one of these people, each one of you guys. And so the best thing I could do is give an opportunity for people to help, give them opportunity on the land, something godly, not something where you're just tearing it up and doing all sorts of things. No, I want to keep as much peace in the world as possible of how God has it for the most part. If there's an area that needs to be tilled up and made into fruits, absolutely. But then that'll even produce, better land, better soil. And then housing, there's plenty of people that will make use of housing, no matter how much it comes. There's people that love to clean. There's people that love to remodel. And so creating a house and then having somebody perfect it and build it within there clearly will pay for their housing themselves. So there's just a lot of things to be able to use. First, if you're watching, start by creating a separate email and starting opening each one of these platforms. And then once you do, then we'll kind of get in the further step. And then you can worry about, you guys can look into that, but basically kind of worry about a lot of this later. This is just from what I'm working on. Parts, one of the irons. This is just one of the irons that I got in the fire. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. If you guys want to comment or send a message or meet up here at the library one of these days, let me know. I got a lot of others that are doing their own thing, and I love to connect people to each other, like Montana Meal Prep, podcasters, certain ones, even that I'm working with, and then others that are encouraged, that are going to the collab, that are already in it, and then how they can help you get encouraged to go there and things like that. Just working on building the communities and getting each other working together and helping each other lighten the loads of this world. So if you have any questions, or if you want to reach out and want to set up a time to meet, get things going, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. You guys have an absolutely beautiful day. No excuses. Move. Make something happen with the fullness of your heart today. Thank you.